Lord, may we serve you all our days, ever rejoice to sing your praise, as we together your wisdom seek. Charge us with truth whene'er we speak. Lord, may we ever know your will. Come to us when our thoughts are still, as we your guidance with joy receive. May we as one your bliss achieve. As we your guidance with joy receive, may we as one your bliss achieve.
So always look, again, not for what people are giving you, but for the people who are giving it, for what spirit they're giving it with. That's all that matters. They could give you wonderful accommodations and wonderful everything, but if they don't do it with love, what does it mean? It's often an ego trip on their part. They could give you the least little thing, but if it's a lot for them, it's a lot, period. So what we found with those people were real princes in the spiritual teaching. And the same thing everywhere. The thing that makes a gift worthwhile is not what the gift is, but the love behind it. I remember once in India, we went to a little village, and their blacksmith had made us a very funky little medallion of our lotus emblem. And it was so sweet, because this village, they didn't have electricity, they didn't have anything. The blacksmith, in order to work, had this big bellows that somebody had to move up and down to fan the flames so that they could get enough heat to melt these things. And it was very primitive, but it was given with love. And how much more important that is. I remember in Bucharest as a child, somebody giving me an airplane, which was very, very lovely. I mean, they were a very wealthy family, one of the wealthiest people in Romania. And the airplane just had everything that a little model airplane back in the mid-1930s could possibly have. It was a wonderful gift, but I don't remember it with any sweetness at all, because it was not given with any sense of anything except, well, I've got the money and this is a social obligation, and so there you are. When people give you their hearts, that's all that counts. And when you give God your heart, that's all that really matters. Sometimes people say to me, what does God want me to do? What do you feel God would like me to do? And very often I have to say, I really don't think he could care less. What he wants is that you do whatever you do with love. And that if you work in the garden or if you work at the retreat or so on, that's not the important thing. The important thing is that you serve him conscientiously and with love. Open up the channel of your heart. Be a giver, not from ego, not saying I am giving, but God, use me as a channel to give your love and your light to other people. The more you do that, the more you will find that you yourself are blessed by what you give.
Good morning again, friends. The topic for today is I offer myself in service and devotion to your cause. I'd like to start with a poem by Tagore, very brief. I had gone a-begging from door to door in the village path when thy golden chariot appeared in the distance like a gorgeous dream. And I wondered, who was this king of all kings? My hopes rose high, and methought my evil days were at an end. And I stood, waiting for alms to be given unasked, and for wealth scattered on all sides in the dust. The chariot stopped where I stood. Thy glance fell on me, and thou camest down with a smile. I felt that the luck of my life had come at last. Then, of a sudden, thou didst hold out thy right hand and say, what hast thou to give me? Ah, what a kingly jest was it to open thy palm to a beggar to beg. I was confused and stood undecided. And then from my wallet, I slowly took out the least little grain of corn and gave it to thee. But how great was my surprise when at the day's end, I emptied my bag on the floor to find a least little grain of gold among the poor heap. I bitterly wept and wished that I had had the heart to give thee my all. This is such a beautiful poem, such a wonderful topic of giving ourselves to God, giving ourselves to Guru, giving our energy, giving our enthusiasm, giving our love, giving our joy. And when Swamiji came across the country in America to meet Master, he said he had two thoughts, two desires. One was to find God, and one was to share God with all. And he said, I came to Master wanting to know what I could give him, not what he could give to me. And in our lives, that's how we should be living. What can I give to the Guru? What can I give to God? What can I give to others around me? How can I serve as a channel of blessings, of grace, and of light? And I remember at the beginning of my spiritual journey, when I went to Ananda for the first time, I went for myself. What am I going to get? I'm going to learn how to meditate. I'm going to become a yogi. I'm going to have deep meditation experiences. And when I went there, I looked around and I realized that others didn't have that thought. They were thinking, what can I give? And I saw people who lived in tents and teepees and trailers, a person in a tree house and very, very limited facilities. And I learned for the first time what it means to serve the Guru, what it means to serve God, what it means to not think about yourself. And when we came here to India, when we were starting our work here, Swamiji, he called people on the phone and he said, will you come and serve Master in India? Some people had 2 weeks to sell everything, pack up everything, get on an airplane and come. Other people, at least one couple, had just been married. And Swamiji tapped them on the shoulder. Will you not come and serve Master's work in India? And they came. And different ones of us were here. And Swamiji said, will you not stay and serve Master's work in India? And this is the spirit that it takes to say, yes, I will leave whatever it is behind and I will come. And then when we were here, Swamiji was very clear. He said, don't sit here waiting for people to come. Go out, share Master's vibrations, share his love, share his joy. And there would be many different ones of us who would go all around India. I mean, I think every month we're going to a different state. And Swamiji would, each person, he would bless you. And then he would say, now, where are you going? And he would say, go out and share Master's teachings and his vibrations. And We would go and teach level 1, level 2, level 3, just keep going. Each state, level 4, I remember going around so many places looking for places for giving talks and places to give Kriya, new centers, and it was all for the Guru. And when Swamiji first came to Master, he came, as I said, across America from the east to the west coast. And he was at one of the satsangs with Master. You probably remember the story from the film, Swamiji's Master's life. And so Master, he's giving his talk, and then at the end he says, and someone has come all across the country. They read my book and they came across the country to be here. And he looks out and he says, Walter? Swamiji had never been called Walter before. He looked around, who is Walter? He says, Walter? And so Swamiji stands up and he introduces him to people. It's so dear because he knows that Swamiji has come to give his life to God and Guru, in service and devotion. And he said to Swamiji, many have disappointed me, but you mustn't disappoint me. What did he mean by that? That many had come for themselves. They didn't come to also help to spread Master's teachings. So what does it mean? I offer myself in service. I offer all that I am. I offer my ideas. I offer my inspiration. I offer my energy. I'm willing to serve in whatever ways that are needed. And as we do that, then other opportunities come and we're able to serve in more and more ways. I offer myself in service, and we may not even know how. Many assignments I was given, I had no idea what to do, but Master came through. I remember once Swamiji said, as I was leaving my seva in Italy, coming back to America, he called on the phone and he said, now it's time to leave this assignment. And he just said these 3 words, go to Africa. And I said, oh, okay. I didn't quite know who am I going to see in Africa? Where in Africa? How do I get there? But he didn't tell you those things. He expected you to figure it out yourself. And I did go there for 3 months teaching Master's teachings. But all of us will have ways that we can serve. And what does it mean to serve with devotion? Committed, I'm serving with devotion, committed to your mission, to your work. It means that we're trying to spread Master's mission. If it's in communities, if it's in education for life, if it's in the techniques, Kriya Yoga, if it's getting a foundation to keep Master's work going beyond our lifetime, we're committed with devotion to Master's mission. And I was remembering also, there's so many ways you can serve. There's teacher training in meditation, teacher training in yoga, there's serving at your center, there's healing prayers, there's a healing prayer Sangha, you could help pray for people. There's so many things. And I recall for myself that everyone has particular things that they can offer to the Guru. And as I said, it doesn't mean that you really know even how to do it. And I was recalling a friend of mine at Ananda village who she was given this big assignment. And she's been at it now for about 20 years. I just talked to her the other day. And she said, Dhyana, I didn't know anything about what to do. But what did she do? She trained. She flew to another state and took a program and trained in how to do that particular seva to be able to offer it to master. So we can't just say, no, I don't do that. I don't know how to do that. I recall Swamiji saying to me, well, Dhyana, you should learn Hindi. This was way back when I first came, 2005. And I had spoken in Italian when we were in Italy. I'd learned Italian. And so I had a knack for languages. He knew that. But that was many moons ago when I was in Italy. But anyway, I said, okay, Swamiji, I'll learn it. And I remember I was studying. I didn't have a teacher, but I was trying everything. And someone said one day, oh, Swamiji Dhyana, she's speaking well in Hindi. And this was, many, many years ago. And so Swamiji said something to me in Hindi, and I didn't know what he said. I said, what is that, Swamiji? And he said, yes, she's speaking wonderfully. But I just kept trying and trying. And some of the last words counsel that Swamiji gave me before he left India for the last time was, he said, Dhyana, why don't you learn the Hindi script? And I said, why? And I went, oh God, I shouldn't have said that. And he said, why not? He wanted us to, whatever we could offer the Guru, to offer it. And now my Hindi's much, much, far better than it was when I first started learning. I can even do some of the Kriya parts in Hindi. But I say that to say that everyone has ways they can serve. And as you serve, you find that your life is so blessed. There's nothing like serving the Guru. You can do other things. Oh, people say, oh, I give to this group, I give to charity, I do this, I do that. But still, we have a responsibility as disciples to serve our Guru's work. And Yana Mata, she would serve even if she was unwell. She served from the bed. She would write letters to the disciples. And that wonderful story of that fellow who couldn't do anything more. His body was so broken down. He was so old. He was a disciple of Master. And I'm so touched by the story. He would lie on the lawn at Encinitas at the garden, near the garden, and he would just pull weeds just to keep serving. He offered his whole being to God and gurus. And of course, we have family, we have responsibilities at our jobs and all, but we can't say, no, I don't have time for the guru's work. He's giving to me. It doesn't work that way. Meditation helps your service, and service helps your meditation. And finally, I'll end with this story of Swamiji when I have, in fact, two in my mind. That he was coming to India to give a big lecture up here in Delhi. So he was in Italy and he wasn't feeling well. Many of you met Swamiji, and you know how he spent his last 10 years setting up this work in India. He came here at the age of 77. And so he called and Jayaji, and he said, I'm just not well enough to come and do the program. And I'm so sorry, but could you all do it for me? And so Jayaji said, yes, Swamiji, of course we can do the program. Please don't worry. Please just take care of yourself. It's not necessary to come, Swamiji. We'll do it. And so then he hung up, and 5 minutes later, Swamiji called and said, I'm coming, because he wanted to serve his guru's work, and he came, and he did a wonderful program. He wasn't well, you could see he wasn't, but it was a wonderful example of how we should be. And the other story that's inspiring of Swamiji's life when he was unwell, some of you have heard this, but he was having a kidney stone attack, and he was to give a satsang on Sunday morning at Ananda meditation retreat many, many years back, decades. And he was in so much pain. He just thought, this is impossible for me to do this. And then he said he didn't want to pray for himself, but he wanted to serve Master's work. He wanted to offer himself. And so he said, Divine Mother, if you want me to give the satsang, you're going to have to take this pain away. And I heard Swamiji tell this story just sometime, few months before his passing, before he left his body. And he showed us, he said, when I asked Divine Mother that prayer, he said, just like this, the pain was gone and it was replaced with joy. He said, I went to give the satsang, but I still didn't do very well because I was in so much joy. So let us remember that as we go forward, that serving the Guru, really, it's our life. It's our joy. It's showing our love and devotion, commitment to our path and to our Guru. And I'll close with, we have a few questions, but I have a couple of quotes from here, from one of Swamiji's books, Money Magnetism, How to Attract What You Need When You Need It. The more you include in all your striving a desire for the good of others, along with your own welfare, the more you will thrive. Living for an expanded reality means to include what is best for others, not only for yourself. And finally, a person who receives from God the blessing of great wealth, but spends it only on himself, will sooner or later find his wealth being removed from him, or its supply drying up. Whatever we are given in this world, whether money, popularity, or talent, should be taken as an opportunity for service. I'll ask Nitindra to join now with the questions that we have for today.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. I'll just share my screen. The first question, Dhyanaji, is that I don't really have time to serve since I have a full-time job and a family. So is there some seva that does not need as much time and that I can do?
Yes. I would say this. Don't just jump into seva. Pray. Pray to Guruji. What would you have me do? What do you want me to do? And feel in your heart what his response is. There's so many ways to serve. But as Swamiji said on his talk, it's how you do it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And so there you can certainly pray for other people. You can be a part of the healing Sangha. Maybe you can transcribe talks of Swamijis. There's some people doing that. Talk with your local center leader, or if you're in home study or online community, talk with the coordinators. But more than anything, find something that you can give to the world through your Guru's work.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The next question is, I don't feel competent to share the teachings, but I do want to serve. So what might I do?
Well, why don't you learn the teachings? If you don't know them, you can take meditation teacher training, yoga teacher training. I would learn the teachings. It's meditation teacher training coming up. I don't know if there's spaces left, but don't just say, I don't know how. As I said about my friend, train so that you can offer more and more of yourself to God and gurus. If you can sing even a little bit, maybe be a part of one of the choirs, maybe chant at the satsangs. There's so many ways. Maybe translate the chants into Marathi or Hindi, or So, but here again, ask Master and just be guided by him.
Dhyanji, the next question is a live question which kind of ties into what you just mentioned. How do we align our will with the will of God and gurus? How do we know what our guru wants from us?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Well, you have to meditate. Meditate, and after meditation, this is one way, inwardly talk to Master, ask him, give options. This is a possibility, that might work. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. When I moved to Mumbai, I had deep conversations with Master about it. I didn't just, I'm going to move Mumbai. I like Mumbai. I want to be in Mumbai. No, I kept asking. And then I asked people who were close to me, is this a good idea? What do you think about it? Then I asked the leaders, what do you think about it? And I think a lot of people do things out of desire. I want to be seen, or I want to do this, or I'm good at this, so I'll do it. But inwardly ask repeatedly. It's not like once and he didn't answer me. And then feel in your heart, Swamiji said, and weigh this option or this option. Does this feel, I feel in alignment with this, or does this? And then take the first step towards it. And if the door is open, that typically is saying that it's right for you. If there's a lot of emotion around it, I want to be a healer. Let me be a healer. I'm healing people. I went through that, the healing people syndrome, but that doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so it should be a calm, centered feeling about it. And it may be something that you don't particularly like. I mean, I remember calling one of our center leaders, and Jayanti, I'll just say the name, when we were setting up the Gurgaon Center in the basement of B10 by 8, our house there. And I just thought, who can I call to come help me clean out this basement and make it a nice place for center? And I knew Jayanti a little bit. I didn't know her well then. I called her and she came. We were in that place for hours. We were just covered with dirt and grime, and just completely. I thought this woman will never come back, but she did. She did, and now she's one of the center leaders in Gurgaon. So don't think it has to be something where people are looking at you or looking up to you. I remember a fellow, and I'll close with this, who he was very refined, and Swamiji was coming to town, and he was coming to Delhi, to Gurgaon, and we had his house to get ready, and we had plants to move and all kinds of things. So we were asking people to do different things. So this fellow called up, he says, Dhyananji, I'm willing to help. Just give me something. I said, come on over. So he came over, and I said, he had on just the most beautiful outfit, like white shirt. And, you know, he was very good looking in that outfit. And I said, I don't know if you do this kind of work that we need right now, but we need to get these planter pots up the stairs and on the balcony, Swamiji's balcony. And he didn't miss a beat. He says, okay. And by the time it was over, you know, you can imagine how that white shirt looked. But Swamiji greeted him so sweetly because he knew he had put himself out. That man had put himself out. So it's not, I want to emphasize, it's not glamour and glory. I've not found any glamour and no glory. So if you're looking for that, you're looking in the wrong place.
Thank you, Dhyanji. We have another live question, and this is, in meditation, we are told to be regular, to do meditation daily. Is that true for service also, or can I serve, let's say, once in a year or in some?
Oh God, no, once a year. No way. You should be serving all the time. Even just in your thoughts, that you're putting out good vibrations, you're sending vibrations of peace. You're helping anybody who's around you. I told someone, the people who serve here in the house, I told them to go downstairs and give something to one of the cleaners. I said, and give it in the name of our guru. So do things in the name of Master, meet people on the streets. Master told Peggy Dietz to go to parties. Now, I'm not telling people to go to parties, but he said, you need to get out there, socialize with people, because was her nature. He said, talk to people about the teachings. And she said, I don't want to go to a party, Master. He said, can't you do it for God and Guru? I love that. And she did. And I'm sure some people came onto the path. So better regular, every day is the best. I don't know how you feel, but I don't feel good unless I'm serving Guruji. I don't, even in meditation, I'm meditating for peace, world peace. I'm sending out vibrations of love. I'm sending out joy. Not is my Kundalini going to rise and the chakra is going to open and am I going to go through the tunnel of light? And, even meditate for others, meditate, pray for others. Do something every day for your guru. Does he do something every day for you? Put it that way. All day he does for you. So do something every day in Master's name. And you'll find, wow, your life just takes off in a wonderful way.
And so maybe we can take 2 more questions. We are a bit over time.
Okay.
First is, sometimes people get into ego once they start serving in certain ways, especially like teaching. I don't want this to happen to me. So what should I do to avoid this?
That's a good one. So I'm laughing because there's the story with Master with one of the teachers and Master's work. And this man, I think he was kind of nice looking. I'm not sure, but he at least he thought he was nice looking and that he was a good teacher. And so Master had fun with him. All the girls or ladies were kind of looking at him, in a particular way. So Master one day put a turban on the man's head at a function, and the turban was kind of, not put on right, and this fabric coming down, and then it was coming over the man's eyes. Everybody saw it. Divine Mother will reduce you. If you don't be humble, she will humble you. That's what I've seen with people. And, you get up there and you can't find the words, or you forgot everything you're supposed to say. So you can't play with the Divine Masters. You can't play with Divine Mother. And as you teach more, what Swamiji said, I don't teach anybody anything. I just share. I love sharing. So as you do that, you cleanse yourself of ego. You can't say, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. Swamiji said to Master, I don't want to be a teacher because of that reason. People get into ego. And Master said, well, they'll learn to like it because it's what you're going to have to do. So he protected him. And I know people here who went to Swamiji and said, we saw people falling left and right at Ananda, and said, Swamiji, we don't want that. And I remember him saying at a certain point, you won't have that problem. So you have to be in alignment with Master, not the I am principle. What about me? And I don't know hardly any teacher of Ananda that loves to teach. I love it. It's just not a part of the whole service to Master. Isn't I love to do it. It's like I do it because I love my guru and I love God.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The final question is on the monetary aspect. So is it essential to give a monetary offering? And how can I give financially to Master's work? Do I have to give it to my center? And generally, what is tithing?
Yeah, it's a good practice to give monetarily because people are so much hanging on. Money is one of the biggest delusions. And I know I can't give. No, I can't give 1,000 rupees. No, 5,000, forget it. No, I just can't give anything. But just think how God is taking care of you, how Master's protected you, taking care of your family, you and your job. And so giving to the Guru's work it's a part of our spiritual path. I mean, giving in some way. I mean, you give energetically, but if you can give financially, you can help Master's work to grow. And I remember someone recently gave me a gift. I just felt inwardly, this is for Master. And I just gave it immediately to the Sangha. And so you'll have opportunities to give. I mean, I don't know how you all feel, but people have too much. People just are loaded. They're loaded. I mean, my neighbor here, he's just got another new car. There's 5 cars in that family, all really expensive cars. And there's only 2 drivers. Why? And, people just shop till they drop, and then, no, I can't donate though. So I would say, think about it. And whatever you can give it with your whole heart. Don't give it saying, oh, I gave, now he's got to give me. This is wrong. The man who put the $100 bill in the offering, Master said, the man said, put $100 bill in there and says, now God's got to give me something. And Master said, listen, God was already the $100 bill. And so you can't think of it that way. So help your local center, whatever part of the work you can help. And tithing is giving 1/10 of your earnings. That's what tithe means, 1/10. Now, if you can't give 1/10, give less. Give whatever you can, but it breaks your delusion about money. That's what I've found. If I say I give the first gift from my salary or whatever, I give to God, and everything else will flow wonderfully. Okay, Nathan.